Welcome to BodyWork.
Welcome back. It's Michael Rogers. Welcome to BodyWork Boxing. It feels so good to be back. How y'all doing out there, man? Just been doing a lot of reflecting on boxing, man, and this is one question I got for everybody. And this is a spot where you can come and speak your piece. I'm in the building. You know what I'm saying? If Santa Claus disappointed you, I'll be your Huckleberry on tonight. You know what I'm saying? I want to know, whose era is it, man? Because if we're talking politics, then it's many of them. If we talk about numbers, if we talk about who put butts in seats, who deliver astonishing performance, if we're talking about accolades, the answer differs. But that's a question I have for everybody, man. Right now, whose era is it? Whether you got a favorite or not, you put all politics to the side and tell me whose era it is. But I want to let y'all know I'm in the building. You know what I'm saying? I'm in the building. I'm in the building. I'm here. And I had a couple thoughts. A couple little things, you know what I'm saying? Just reflecting and looking at the sign of the times in boxing and what's going on and everything. But I've been looking at, I've been kind of keeping my eyes on this Clarissa Shields and Alicia Baumgartner thing. And it's kind of silly to me, a little bit. Loving Jew, yo, what's going on? Shout out, salute, thanks for popping in. Whose era is it? You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna start some sidebar, but I want to know whose era is it? That's the question. Whose era is it? But I'm talking about this Clarissa Shields and Alicia Baumgartner thing. For one, I was like, it's still kind of fuzzy to me, and it's real polarizing to me when the subject of Alicia Baumgartner come up. I was a huge fan. Like with my intros, I just had one on. It's one that she pretty much, when it came to women's boxing, she was on that intro. But after the test, came up and things like that, and what was rendered, I was like, I'll be a hypocrite. But I kept hearing people just overlook certain things. I mean, because the conversation was totally different when you talking about a Connor Ben. Another dude who I had in one of my intros, had my eyes on. You know, I was like, the conversation is different when it come down to that. Then if you bring up the great Canelo Alvarez, it's like, well, if we're gonna keep doing that, then where do we stand? You know what I'm saying? I see your question, homie. My thought on him changing his name. I respect it. You know what I'm saying? Everybody had a power of free will. You know, it's not gonna make me look at him any different. You know what I'm saying? I believe you can believe what you want to believe. You know, I met him first, and I always start. I'm a channel where I start everything inside out. Where I see these guys first inside the ring and what they can do. I start picking up on them and, you know, really analyze them. Then I work my way outside to get to know what's going on. So I try to stay abreast of what's going on. But in that ring is what I really focus on. But in this Alicia Baumgartner and Clarissa Shields thing, it's kind of silly to me because I'm hearing a little bit of backdrop of the friendship and all that. I'm hearing a little bit of like how, you know, Clarissa was somewhat of a mentor. And in women's boxing, man, it's like, it's totally different than men's boxing, because if two women really want to fight, it ain't a lot of politics. It's a few politics, but because how the sport is and how niche of a market it is for women to actually fight top competition, you more than likely, if you really want that smoke, you can get that smoke. But like the call out, it's like I'm starting to question, like, when do we value a call out? Like, can we calibrate a call out, man? Because now, you know what I'm saying, it's more energy and time and effort put into the one that's always like just saying somebody's name, just always just barking. You know what I'm saying? While we in the area, we like the barkers more than the biters. I'm talking about the ones that when they get in there, they bite down on something like, well, we like the bark. We value the bark. Because I'm like, it's kind of crazy for her to be asking Clarissa to come down after this. It's like, it's really no humility in that situation. And I know people get off because, you know, she's attractive and stuff like that, and that's all. And I'm like, that's even like, and people be talking about simps. People be talking about simps online. I'm like, man, we be simping for a lot of things, like out in the open, you know what I'm saying? But who am I? I digress. Normally, typically, a lot of things surrounding Clarissa was too controversial to me. I said my piece a long time ago about that incident and that elder gentleman who got his hands put on. Ever since then, I was kind of like, inside the ring, Clarissa is nice. I think she's the creme de la creme. If we really keep it in the buck, she's the creme de la creme. So you can't come from an allegation like that, whether it's clear or unclear. Let the fog settle down. Let it be a clear and sunny day in that way before you like start making all these demands. But we value that. Some of the loudest, biggest channels out here is like really promoting that. I know they want to promote the fight because at the end of the day we want to see the fight, but a lot of people are promoting that. All the Clarissa, you know, all that stuff set aside, but she trying to demand Clarissa to suck down and meet her at 47. And I'm not sure. You know what I'm saying? I kind of take, it's crazy, but I kind of side with Clarissa Shields on this one. And I was an AB fan, you know what I'm saying? I want clarity on the whole PED thing, because I can't be looking at Conor Ben sideways and then be accepting her just because she's attractive. But that's not what it's about. It's about boxing. So, you know what I'm saying? I think a lot of people are exposing themselves in that manner, how they, fashion their conversations around that topic alone. It's like, what are we amping up? But in women's boxing, whose era is it? I guess it's still the Clarissa Shields era. Why? Because I know, contrary to a lot of people's beliefs, I know it was a lot of upsets. I think my upset of the year, to be honest, was Shadeja Green and Franchon, Cruz Dezern. That was my upset. That was kind of like my upset of the year. I mean, I really didn't really see it. I really didn't see it happening, and I saw, I kind of thought that maybe Shadeja was on a path to be able to see Clarissa, but right now, from what I'm seeing, all things be considered, when it comes down to getting inside that ring and doing that thing, right now, I got Clarissa on top. So in women's boxing, I think it is her era. I think the one I call the Punisher, Amanda Serrano, I think she's doing wonderful things in the sport. Love her style of fighting, love her attitude and how she talk and conduct herself inside the ring. It's some young killers coming up. Over there, but I think as far as on that side, gotta be Clarissa. All the undisputeds. It's just, I think politics and some things and social media and stuff like that outside the ring kind of sometimes might not paint her in the best light, but I think inside that ring right now is her era. Now on the men's side, I thought it was Tank's era. I thought it was Abdul Wahid's era. So I thought that was evident in the numbers, in the public demand, in the hardcores. Anytime you got Teddy Atlas been saying Tank been in this pound for pound for the last couple years. But then you got DAZN and them saying that Tank, he ain't even in the top 10 no more. But Devin, who is their number 4, is about to fight Ryan, who was unacceptable when Tank fought. And stopped, by the way, in his last fight. So I thought it was the One's era. You know what I'm saying? I mean, people can arguably state that Canelo still kind of pushed the needle, but they want to see that Benavidez and Canelo smoke now. They think that that's long overdue. That thing been marinated for too long. Some people gonna argue that it's still Canelo. You know what I'm saying? But it's a lot of people, like in a roundabout way, it's a lot of people proclaiming that it's Bud's era right now. We in the Terrence Bud Crawford era. Which, when you talk about Errol Spence, no, he wasn't nothing, he wasn't this, but now Terrence is all that. I put him up there because of what he was able to do in that magnificent performance. I think he has performance of the year. Definitely performance of the year. And Bud has my fighter of the year right now. He got my fighter of the year right now. And what I learned from watching Bud is that Bud is always prepared. He's always prepared to do anything and everything. If you're not at least in shape and have condition and prepared for every situation like Bud, you have no chance of beating him. So at a minimum, you got to have preparation. And Bud is versatile. Stay in shape. Stay doing something that's keeping him fluid. Keeping his stuff. People talk about his age, but he keep himself going. Always in the gym. Always look in shape. Always staying active. You know what I'm saying? So it's an argument for that because people say he's number 1 pound for pound, and then my champion of the year is Naoya Inoue. When you talk about champion caliber, because you got to think every negotiation that he was in, it went without no flaw. We heard about it, wasn't no long lag. It was a small delay in the Fortune fight, but that went unhitched. Never heard Fortune complain about anything. It was a small thing about the gloves. They saw the gloves being wrapped, signed off. All that was whatever he did, what he did to Fortune. Last November, so from November of last year to December of this year, he got double undisputed. That's what he did. And the competition, when you think about Fulton, well, I think that was the 9th. And then you think about Tapales, that was later. So the competition was good. These were notable fighters. Some people had Stephen Fulton on their pound for pound list. Naoya Inoue stopped him comes back and stops Tapales, who upset MJ. MJ's trying to make MJ made a comeback, got a dub under his belt. You know what I'm saying? I think he was in attendance at that fight. But inside the ring, outside the ring, you got to think the Fulton and Inoue thing was cross promotional. No hitch. Went off without a hitch. So a PBC fighter and Stephen Fulton was able to go over there to Japan, get a nice, good payday. Was on a big grand stage where the monster is the man, and had a good fight. Gave interviews after the fight, was a good sport after the fight. There was no negative energy. And then fast forward to what happened the other day on the 26th. He does it again against Tapales, who was tricky. You know what I'm saying? He killed the southpaw with the straight right hand, like textbook. But I think champion of the year because of the deliberateness and the all-around big picture and the moves. There's no stutter step. There's no questionable as the level of competition. He just keeps going up and up and up. So my upset of the year was the Shadeja Green fight. You know what I'm saying? I really didn't see anybody beating her anytime soon. My fighter of the year is Bud. Champion of the year is Inoue. You know what I'm saying? Inoue. And my MVP, most valuable boxer, is Tank. He's the most valuable boxer, man. When Inoue won, it was whispers of Tank and this and that, all that buzz. Even when Bud won, when Tank made the little reference to saying that Bud had a glass shield. When Bud won, he was like, "Oh, Tank think he was in the mix." You had a dude from the MMA, Sean O'Malley. He was in the mix trying to get it. You know what I'm saying? You always got, Mr. Gary Russell. He always, he's always saying he want this. You got a lot of people. You got Devin and them claiming that they want that, and that's the biggest fight. People still think that skill for skill. They think that Tank and Shakur is the best fight that can be made skill for skill outside of the arguably the Canelo and Benavidez fight, arguably. He's the most valuable boxer, man. You can't, there are fighters out here that can't even promote themselves without using his name or attaching some kind of element of him to their promotion. He's the most valuable boxer right now. You know what I'm saying? He's the most valuable boxer. I think another guy, my underrated boxer of the year is Richardson Hitchens. Nobody really saying his name, and he's doing what he need to do. He's being developed and he's being tested and he's passing these tests with flying colors. People are not knocking down the door to fight him, but I think he got an eliminator coming up. And we'll see, because that's the bigger, brighter stage, but I think he's very equipped for it. I think Ray Ford got a fight coming up. You know what I'm saying? Another young killer. Shushu. You know what I'm saying? He's doing his thing. I don't know what you would call him, but he's definitely grabbing a lot of attention. He's talking that anyway. He's saying he want that anyway smoke, and I think he's closer to actually being able to land the fight. You know what I'm saying? If he can stay at the weight where he's at, and anyway, decide to come up, if he's gonna do that. But I got Yoenis Tellus. I think I'm gonna give him my knockout of the year. Yoenis Tellus. He went in there with a guy, an older gentleman, but very tricky, very awkward, still very dangerous all through the fight. It was a wild fight. I think he did take a little bit more punishment, but right when he really, really needed to, he dug down deep and you know what I'm saying? And it was over. Brutal, devastating knockout. That was my knockout. Yoenis Tellus was my knockout of the year. I heard a lot of people saying the Brian Mendoza Fundora thing. I think, man, that might have been life-changing, man. I called Fundora the landlord. I ain't heard from the landlord, ever since, man. I know it take time to come back from that. We haven't heard from him since. He was on the rise, man. Mendoza went up there and, turned out the lights and lit a candle. I mean, dang. But that could be a possible upset of the year too. But I just have so much for Sinead. That's why I say, man, I hope she's doing her thing, and I think at women's boxing, she's definitely gonna be able to get her opportunity. I think she's definitely gonna be able to get her opportunity. You know what I'm saying? Might have just been a bad night at the office. Shakur had a bad night at the office. T.O. Fort Cambosa, it was a bad night at the office. You know what I'm saying? It happens. You know what I'm saying? Some people look really, really good with their bad night at the office. Like I think Mr. Gary Russell Jr., he looked real good in his bad night at the office. But I really want to know whose era is it, man? Like, are we letting politics really describe what's really going on? Like, when we really look down at it, man, do we just want to be breaking and breaking news and just whose era is it? Because people say, I can't say that he's the face of boxing. I'm like, okay, well, if it's a topic of conversation and we talking about, okay, if you was the controller of a video game and you about to do your first rollout, who you gonna put on the cover? And who's gonna resonate with everybody and go ahead and have the incentive to be able to buy that game? If you have apparel that you were selling and you had to put a face on it and it had to represent boxing, who would that be? Whose era is it? You gotta be real. You gotta think about this comprehensively. That's the question. Whose era is it right now? Somebody let me know. I figure somebody come out here and, let me know something. I'm here. What else been going on, man? The Earl Spence and Bud thing, man. I want to know. Well, we don't know, man. I think really that's as far as Amazon and when they want to roll out dates and the whole agreement. And I think a lot of that has to do with the network, which I try to keep in mind when I'm thinking about the energy that people have online wanting to see these big fights. But I think that we're at the mercy of them announcing their rollout and when they're actually going to roll everything out. I really think that that's what we're waiting on. So, but as an Earl fan, man, it's like, dang, man. I know my man suffered the loss, man, but man, like, don't starve your fans, man. Like, give us something to go by, man, because people can just run with whatever they want, man. If y'all don't give us nothing to put out there, y'all don't give us no updates, y'all don't really tell us what's going on. Like, I guess it's a way to build the fight, but man, sometimes not hearing is it's worse because when people want to make stuff up, if it's loud and you get enough momentum, man, it builds up. So I know, some things. A couple champions, then it was a couple people that got disappointed, man. They just got ghost on us, man. You know what I'm saying? It's a couple people that just got ghost on us, and we need to hear from y'all, man. When you got fans that support you and buy your pay-per-views and stuff like that, it's like a kick in the tail when y'all, if you were to get upset and then we don't hear from you. It's like a double negative. Then we got to deal with the backlash of the other fans who we were rooting against or bet against or whatever in that rivalry, and then we don't hear from y'all. I'm like, where y'all at, man? Holler at us. Let us know what's going on, man. Let us be able to shift some of these narratives. Let us be able to promote the fight in a better way. That's just my thoughts. Those are just my thoughts right now, man. I think Mr. David Morrell, Boots, was the Boots era getting ready to begin? Is Spence gonna get his redemption at 54 and part 2 of his killing spree gonna start commencing? You know, who's gonna grab the bull by the horns in the heavyweight division? Because it's a Sasquatch out there. I call him Frank Sanchez, man. I think that man very dangerous. I think Jared Anderson, I think that young man is very dangerous. You know, I think the boy is getting, he's getting, he's getting in the experience and taking on the task or whatever. AJ looking good, you know what I'm saying? We're not sure what's going on with D-Dub, but who gonna grab the bulls and who in the heavyweight? I mean, is it because some of us had Ngannou edge in that fight against Fury, scored it and everything. You can politic all around it. Only way you can really justify it is that because in the last 2 rounds, Ngannou kind of let off the gas and then let his hands go, which will actually qualify a judge being able to say this guy won because he was the champion. You didn't do enough in quote unquote the championship rounds. But outside of him not throwing his hands and popping that head back, you know what I'm saying, we thought that he won. That was an indictment on the whole heavyweight division. Salute the Cookie Monster. Hey, BodyWork. What's going on, Cookie Monster? But yeah, I mean, who gonna grab the bull by who in the heavyweight area? What area? Is it Usyk? Is it Usyk? And y'all, please, can we have a separate top 10 for the heavyweights, man? Because the way the heavyweights being used in the top 10 pound for pound list is just taking away spots from true top 10 pound for pounders. But heavyweight ain't pound for pound. Heavyweight, once you get past the threshold, if you pass that threshold, you can fight. You could be, look at Big Baby Miller and what he came into the ring the other day. Somebody said he looked like a mattress for arms. I'm like, once you get past it, fight somebody that's like 213, like heavyweight is heavyweight. Can we start separating that list, that top 10? Can it be a top 10 heavyweights and then a top 10 pound for pound? I don't like lists with heavyweights in it. A lot of people have Usyk in there. A lot of people have, some people even have Fury in their top 10. It's just heavyweights is something different. But whose era is it with the heavyweights? People get mad and upset when you question whether or not it was wild. I know a guy got mad and upset, muted me, kicked me out. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just because I said that Fury made it questionable because of Fury's condition when he came back and fought Wilder to a draw the first time. Like, that was something really outrageous. I didn't get, you know what I'm saying? That was something really outrageous to say. I'm like, well, think about it. I said, well, would Tyson have let Fury come back off the couch and do that? Lennox Lewis, would Evander Holyfield have let somebody come off the couch after that? With all those conditions, the thoughts in his mind, his obesity, doing, recreational drugs, already been known as, cheating and stuff like that. Like, would that been somebody acceptable? Even tried to use a current example with somebody without those issues. They were like, oh, you taking too long. Then stayed on the live for like 2 more hours after that. So I'm like, I don't got time. Oh, yeah, I know you don't got time. You don't got time. But respect. Because people don't really be wanting to know the truth, man. People don't really want to break it all down, man. And I want to know, okay, whose era is it in every way? Because people want to divide skills and money. I think, man, the one that's making the most bread and just demonstrating the most skill and putting the most butts in the seats should be the ones. Those are people like Inouye, Tank. Those people are doing that. They, people are coming and buying and supporting their fights, and they're getting the job done when they get in the ring. People are losing to them and still having stardom after that. So I want to know, let's be real, whose era is it? I thought maybe somebody might have something they wanted to, run by me or ask me or holler at me, you know what I'm saying? Before this year get ready to come to a close. Plus, I like hearing other people. I don't like yes, man. I like people to have a difference of agreement. Let's, you know what I'm saying? We can, I don't mind. Is boxing in a good place? Is boxing in a good place right now? Somebody let me know. Had to change up the music. You know what I'm saying? Had to change up the music a little bit. Who we got in the building? Who we got in the building? You know what I'm saying? Who got something on their mind? Who got something on their mind? Hearing about some fights, man, like I'm hearing Munguia's getting ready to fight Ryder. A lot of people saying Ryder gonna do his thing against Munguia. You know what I mean? It's time for Munguia to show something. I think he's kind of been coddled a lot. You know what I'm saying? We seen what happened with Zerto when Bivol got a hold of him when he fought, you know, some real competition. So we'll see. You know what I'm saying? I have my opinions because that fight when Ryder, I think that was Joe Smith. I want to say that was Joe Smith. I believe it was. But that fight he had before the Canelo fight, that was the eliminator. I felt like Joe Smith was on his way to winning that fight until he hurt his hand. You know. So, you know, I don't know. You know, Munguia gonna have to show something, man. Will he get all his, you know, will he get his toolbox ran through in that fight, shall I say? You know what I'm saying? I think that's a very technical way of saying getting exposed. Will he get his toolbox ran through with no answers? You know what I'm saying? Is Ryder gonna run through his whole toolbox? You know, he shared the ring with some people though. I mean, you know, they haven't been the biggest names, but he you know, he got a little experience. A lot of people will be like, man, Darren Chinko, you know, put the Beast by Dre down on him. You know, so I think this is a proven fight. You know, and Ryder getting all kind of fights. You know, that's one of the things. I know Ray Ford getting ready to do his title. Richardson Hitchens getting ready to go through his title eliminator. I think it was talks about T.O. and Barbosa, and then T.O. and Subriel Matias in the summer, which I really like. They're saying Matias got a hand injury. There's a lot going on, man. There's a lot going on. You know, we don't know what's going to happen with Maul. But I think that, again, that goes back to the whole rollout of what Amazon and PBC and all them, you know, whatever they, you know, I think we waiting on a lot of answers in that. And that's why I think it's real quiet. I think a lot of people are having to get real creative in the things that they're talking about and how they're stretching this and doing that. And I'm just like, man, that has nothing to do with these jokers getting in the ring and doing their thing. But I did have that question for y'all. I wanted to know whose era is it? You know, who you got right now? Who's, you know what I'm saying? I told you whose mine was. And it's evident. I mean, the numbers show, the amount of fans show, like, really the center of conversations in boxing show. Whether people really want to admit it or not, it shows. You know, I did learn from Bud that, man, a lot of young fighters need to, like, if it's something you need to take away from Bud, is you gotta stay prepared. You gotta stay prepared. You gotta be prepared at all times. You gotta be versatile and stay prepared. I think we seen a little bit of that with the Shakur fight, because Shakur showed me the survival kit. Shakur got a mean survival kit. You know what I'm saying? You need a survival kit. He was talking about how he bluffed, and you know, he defanged the Tiger a little bit, even though I think De La Santos should have got more credit for a lot more of the body shots that he was, because he was still working. But Shakur got a mean survival kit. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people might say it's not the most exciting thing to watch when you have that, but if you have an injury and you have to skate by or whatever, and you're able and capable of being able to do that on a bad night, it's a mean survival kit. So Bud showed you gotta be prepared, and Shakur showed you need a survival kit. You know what I'm saying? When somebody coming at you with some more guns and some bigger heat, you know, who knows how that survival kit will work out, but you need one. So I think young boxers can learn from both of them in that sense. And I was telling somebody yesterday that when it came down to those 3 fights with Regis and Zarilla, Regis and Devin, and then Shakur and De La Santos, concurrently they broke concurrent records. Zarilla and Regis set a record for fewest punches landed by, you know, in a match with like 84 combined. And then De La Santos, I think it was like the fewest at like 43 or something like that. And then Regis didn't land but about 38 on Devin. That's an anomaly in boxing. You know what I'm saying? So you kind of got to look at those fights a little bit in a vacuum, because how a record set, it's like things that have never been done before. Like, you can't call it a record if it's never been done before. You can't do that but so many times, and we just saw it 3 times in a row. Nobody's taking that consideration. A lot of you can grade the performances, and you can say I expected more and this and that, but like when somebody's throwing that few amount of punches, the outcome of those fights, you can only say, all right, well, I mean, at the end of the day, the best man won. They was able to, you know, win the judges over or just get the job done straight up. They were able to, by the judging of the 4 scoring criteria, they was able to get, you know, judges in their decision to say, yeah, you got it. So you need a survival kit. You got to stay prepared. I really just thought that the clock be ticking, and nobody was out here, man, talking boxing tonight. So I said, hey, maybe somebody want to come through and speak their mind on some boxing. And I'm not gonna do an oldies, man, because a lot of times, you know, if it's different from somebody else, you think they hating, and it's just sloppy right now. But I think boxing is in a good place. We gotta wait and hear this big announcement and the rollout from what PBC got going on, and I think we should appreciate what's going on in the sport. It's active, even if everything that's going on in social media is outweighing everything that's going on inside the ring. Boxing is still in a good place. You know what I'm saying? People still get excited and riled up and ready to pull up and shoot and draw down and stalk, and it all in the name of the love of boxing, man. It's you know, it's just, that's the kind of sport it is. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing like it. It's a mano, macho. The fans go crazy, be ready to punch each other lights out, and we just want to see them all fight. You know, I figure I'll just come on here, man, and make myself available once again, because I don't be saying I don't make myself available. Like, You know what I'm saying? I can't be found, and that I don't be popping out. I'm just Mr. Brick by brick by brick. You know what I'm saying? That's who I am, and we still building. We taking the stairs, man. One subscriber at a time. All subscribers matter, man. We're the alternative to opinion-based content. We do fact-based content here. You know what I'm saying? We might get emotional about the sport itself, but like at the end of the day, we want to talk that good, responsible boxing talk and set some things straight. You know what I'm saying? Who's who around here? But we're in a good place. We're in a good place with boxing, and I look forward to things to come, man. Some young killers out here. There's some young killers out here. Some people we need to get active again. We know that inactivity is a killer. You got to stay prepared and stay focused on boxing. You know what I'm saying? I was watching this interview with Najee Lopez. He actually says he lives in the facility and he's married to the sport. And it's shown because his name was thrown in the hat for one of the prospects of the year. But that dude is very dangerous. He lives at the facility training all that time. Like, man, and he, you know, and boxing is his wife, he say. Those are the kind of people that, you know, will going to taking them stairs, brick by brick, just getting it one by one, just taking those right steps and doing it the right way. It's a wealth principle that when it blow up and boom, and then you start getting to the bag, and you got your belts, and you can kind of call the shots, and you're the hot commodity. That's it. You on your way. But it take for that kind of discipline, man. That boxer's lifestyle, man. If you really want to be the best, if you just want to grab a couple bags, you don't got to do all that. You know what I'm saying? You might find yourself on a bad night, like Chris Colbert did against Raul Venezuela. Backing straight out, hands down. You know what I'm saying? Like Mark Jackson say, hands down, man down. You know, that's what they got caught with. Got to stay prepared. Got to have your fundamentals down. Got to have a survival kit. You know what I'm saying? Or you got to be able to just turn on the switch and end the show like an Inouye or a Tank or a Bud. Got to be able to close it. You know, that's how I'm reflecting it, man. I think we're in a good spot, man. I think we're in a good spot. I think that I see a little bit of the conversation, you know what I'm saying, in boxing changing. But I do think that a lot of people are just really, they still kind of caught up in the gossip. They still kind of caught up in the gossip stuff, man. And that's cool. It's fun. It's funny. But when you get to taking it serious and you start getting all crazy and wanting to, you know, do stuff to people over something one of these boxers said, that's a little bit much, man. But when you get embarrassed, you start getting all loud and wanting to get personal. That's just some of us live out here and we come into boxing trying to get away from all that. We just want to talk some good boxing. We want to see what's going on. We want to be able to talk it out and be able to say, oh no, I heard people, I said that yesterday, some people didn't even know that they broke records with those least amount of punches. I'm like, well, so how are you even really having a responsible conversation? I get, because it come down to, I guess it just come down to certain people wins and losses. That's and everything. It's just wins and losses. That's all they care about. Not how the fight look. Not, you know what I'm saying. None of that. Just wins and losses. Which is cool. I mean, at the end of the day, I guess it is really about wins and losses, but when you're talking about certain things, you kind of want to include a little bit more than that, like some details, like what was going on, how did that happen. But, man, I'm like, I can't get no smoke, man. Even though I do know that a lot of the subliminals have died down, man. I think people might be starting to understand me, man. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I might not be blackballed after all. You know what I'm saying? I think people might be understanding what I'm trying to get at here, and what point I'm trying to put on the sport, and what I'm trying to do, and how I'm trying to grow it, or put fresh water into it. People might be starting to understand what I'm all about, man. Because I don't. I'm starting to the hate is it's not gone, it's there, but it's dying down. You know what I'm saying? It's dying down a little bit. I could tell. It just take time. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you gotta be able to accept the truth, man. You gotta be able to accept what it is, man. A lot of people jumped over that Devin Haney to that Tank side of the fence, man. I'm like, look at you now. Look at you now. Look at you now. Like, man, I'm like, wow. It's funny to me. That's why it's entertainment, and right now it's entertainment at the end of the day, man. Until your hobby starts paying you enough to allow you to be able to stop doing what you're doing and do what you do full time. Like, you can't really say anybody who can actually make it doing it full time, like, and actually earn it. You gotta salute them. You know what I'm saying? But right now it's a hobby for me, man. Everybody paying me to say or do nothing. You know what I'm saying? And you can ain't really see that, man. When you really tell the truth, when you really keeping it 100, people is gonna reduce it down to hate. They're gonna figure out a reason why, because people don't like getting the mirror held up to them. People don't like when you talk about flaws and blemishes and this and that. They can do that when it comes to you, but you can't do that when it comes to them. So that that kind of information, especially on the sport, when you're really talking about what's really going on, not these illusions that's being put out there, but when you're talking about what's really going on, that's not the most appealing thing. It's almost like watching a real documentary all the time. You don't watch documentaries, you watch sitcoms and comedy shows, and you don't watch really like a lot of documentaries because it's too real sometimes. You find out too much information. You know what I'm saying? That's how I try to keep it here, man. It's like I try to do a documentary style with my little print on it, my little stamp on it. And I'm learning how to do the visuals, how to do production. I got my eyes on doing big things with film and graphics and stuff like that. I just love doing what I do when it comes to boxing, man, because it's a man's sport. You know what I'm saying? It's a niche market, and some of us really love it. You know what I'm saying? Because it's one of the most fundamental when you come out. First time you start walking, and two babies get in the conflict, you gotta stop. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's primal. You know what I'm saying? It's in everybody. So that's how I feel. I think overall it's in a good spot. I think that if this Amazon Prime thing go through, and people from Top Rank and people from PBC can go on Prime and do their thing, like imagine that they're able to go on there where everybody can get paid and they're able to get that done. Boxing is in a great place, man. That almost make it to where you gotta wait and see what Shakur does, but that almost make it to where it would be possible that even if he was over there, not saying he should do it. I'm not saying he should. I'm not saying he should or shouldn't. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a manager. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying he should or shouldn't. I'm just saying that whether or not he's there or not, if he is there, and the happenstance that he is there, and PBC and Top Rank are going on Amazon, the road is paved for Tank and Shakur. That's just a matter of time. And Shakur said he taking the stairs. He said he got this belt. He said he believed in the same philosophy as me. Well, I said I don't like the whole thing was you take one fight, you get all of that. That's no value in all that, because now it's like, it's more equity when you go and collect them one by one. Like, it sounds silly in this era where it's a microwave era. Like I was saying yesterday, it's a microwave era where everybody want everything to happen right now, and then the minute you win this, now you the baddest man on the planet. It's like, no, man, no. It don't work like that. But Shakur's approach to getting in is he want to get this belt, then unify, then fight this name and unify, and he said he want to be undisputed. And I think he do need to go ahead and at least need to get another barometer of what his cachet is after that last performance. A lot of people were overcritical of it. A lot of people, didn't really care because it was all about wins and losses. Depending on what side of the fence you was on with that, depending on how you saw that. But I think a lot of people are saying, okay, because when it come down to Shakur with him being so skillful, they want to use the numbers. But when it come down to Devin Haney and Abdul Wahid, numbers don't matter, man. It ain't about the numbers. So I be confused. So you got a lot of time people gotta identify which side of the fence they stand on certain things before you can really dissect where they really heading at and if they really just blowing smoke up your tail, because it don't make sense. But big fights, man. Big possibilities. What I'm trying to tell y'all. Big fights, big possibilities. They said that Devin might fight Ryan. Ryan saying be fair with the deal, and it's all this. It's a lot of negotiating out in the public, which is not. It's good, I guess, for the top. I guess for conversation, entertainment, some hee ha ha, some speculation, some super chats and stuff like that. But as far as like actually really getting the fight done, sometimes it can hamper things, man. Because too many people get to talking and saying certain things, and some of them people might have a little influence here or there. Get kind of sloppy. I think it's a good fight. You know what I'm saying? Overall, I don't like the narrative around it, but I think it's a good fight overall. And I think it's definitely not a wash. There's no foregone conclusions in that fight either. You know what I'm saying? There's no foregone conclusion in that fight either. But those are just some of my thoughts on it. You know what I'm saying? We still don't know who the one is coming back. You know, a lot of people are saying it shouldn't be Ryu and whatever. I'm like, I just want the man to stay active at this point. You know what I'm saying? If it was April was the last time he was in there. So I know what inactivity does, and that'll be the prime window for somebody to try to, like, you know what I'm saying, catch him unprepared or not in the right mindset or whatever. So I just want him to get active. At this point in time, I don't care. If this fight over here can throw all these names up on the fridge, just throw all these names on the fridge and just see what falls down, and the noodle and stick, he could just fight that one. That one happened to be Ryan. Tank can fight whoever he wants, as long as he stay active right now. Like right now, as long as he stay active, that's all I care about. He on top. They gotta be a big name. I wanted Devin or Shakur. That's what I wanted. You know, if it's a Ryu or another person like that who, in all honesty, I just see as another casualty, so be it. Stay active. Get you another bag. You know what I'm saying? Feed those babies. You know what I'm saying? Keep buying up more blocks and houses and keep doing it. You know what I'm saying? That's how I feel about it. You know, but boxing in a good place, man. And to be all honest, I think it still Tank's era, but you know, I wanted to see if somebody gonna come in here and say whose era it really was. You know. So maybe somebody like came in and told me what it was. That's all I wanted, man. I just wanted to share a couple thoughts on boxing, man, before the evening. There wasn't nobody really out there online and stuff like that, so I said I'll come through, man. I'll come through and be a spot where, you know, you can come through and speak your piece or whatever, but those are my thoughts, man. I'm gonna get out of here. You know what I'm saying? I thought maybe somebody might come in here so I could put the link out, but it is what it is, homie. Thanks for tuning in here at BodyWork's Boxing, where we don't take things for face value. We do that body